Hey, welcome to the third episode of the Wandering Womb podcast with me, Jess Taylor, and with Jaimi Shrive.
Hi.
So it turns out this podcast is quite popular.
Yeah, I know.
Who'd have thunk it? So tonight we are drinking Malbec. Argentinian Malbec, apparently.
Yep. I think we're going to need it with
what
this,
we're talking about.
Yeah, with this podcast.
I went all the way Argentina for it. Dominic Cummings said it was alright. No, I didn't. Do you know what I was thinking though when I went into the
From the third shelf from Morrison's.
That's very specific. I was going to say it was from the third shelf in the pantry. Although I was going to say, you know, when I went in to go get it, I actually read the backs of all the bottles of wine in our pantry and then picked one that sounded nice, and I thought, oh my God.
You know nothing about wine, though.
Fuck off, yes I do.
Yes, I know, I've learned something new about wine.
What?
Well, about whatever this Malbec is.
Oh yeah, what?
It doesn't taste too bad after you've cleaned your teeth.
Oh, I can't imagine how... Why did you do that?
It's quite fresh.
You're the only person I know where I get a bottle of wine out and you go, oh, gotta go brush my teeth before we have some wine.
No. I don't clean my teeth as a ritual before wine. It's just I happened to clean my teeth before we had this wine.
Right.
I just fancied cleaning my teeth.
What, just before I passed you a glass of wine?
Well,
And now you've got minty Malbec?
It actually goes really well. Some people like to have cheese and onion crisps with red wine. I like to clean my teeth.
I would quite like to continue eating my cheese and onion crisps and drinking my red wine, but I've got to record this, and I don't think the listeners want, this noise, basically.
Oh no, we're breaking up.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going through a tunnel by. Cheese and onion crisp tunnel. Oh, okay. So, let me grab my wine again. Off the table.
Should we do a cheers?
Oh, we should do a cheers. We should do a cheers at the start of every podcast, or at the end if we get through it without fucking it up.
Let's do it. Ready?
Ready, go. Woo! It's a nice noise.
Yeah, it is.
Although I bet it would be nicer if they were like crystal.
But we probably break those.
You know, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with... I seen it on the TV, or maybe, I don't know what it was, about crystal glasses, that if you ran your finger round them, they'd make like...
It was on Blue Peter, I saw that episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Blue Peter?
Yeah, it was on Blue Peter.
Well, anyway, I then became obsessed with crystal glasses, and every time I went to like a family member's house who had those glasses with the crisscross like patterns on the wine
and
glasses,
it'd make like a whistling noise.
Well, they didn't, obviously, because all the ones that I fucking went to were probably plastic or glass, but like I really desperately wanted them to be crystal, so they'd make that noise. I don't think it works on glass, does it? You can make anything make a noise, babe, but the crystal ones make like
Wait, listen.
Yeah, it sounds...
Wait.
Sounds like a windy night.
Stop it, I'm laughing. I want to show them.
Oh my shitting God.
Right, shall we continue with the podcast?
No, I think you should carry on doing your sound effects. No, sack the fucking podcast off. Let's listen to you. Oh my, right, brilliant. You know, like when kids bring home like really, really bad pieces of art and you have to stick them on the fridge and make out that they're amazing?
No.
That's like you when you whistle, and then I go, oh babe, that's really good. And then you go, can you tell what it is?
Whoa.
Sorry.
That is not a good reference for what we're about to speak about.
No, it's not. I take that back.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's focus. We've decided that today we're going to discuss the criminal justice system and women's experiences in the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
And the state of the fucking criminal justice system. So just as to set you up, it's not a positive podcast, we don't think. Obviously, we don't edit these, so anything could happen, really. So before we start, we just need to make it absolutely clear, you know, for loads of you listening, you might have been through the criminal justice system, you might have reported something to the police, you might have been through this process yourself, and it's like this podcast has the potential to be really heavy because we don't know what we're going to talk about. So it's to give a content warning that we're talking about, you know, violence, potentially sexual domestic violence, talking about the criminal justice system and our experiences going through it. Some of it's our personal experiences, some of it is our professional experiences, and just societal experiences, and just everything really, stuff that's been in the media. So we did decide, even though we've had a drink, we're very responsible when we've had a drink. We're like that friend that looks after you even though we're all shit-faced.
Yeah.
We're basically saying, you know, take care of yourself, and take breaks if you need it, and don't listen to it if this is not what you want to listen to. That's absolutely fine.
And pour yourself a big glass of wine and drink with us.
Yeah, you could do that. Loads of people drank while listening to our podcast.
Great, I recommend it.
I think we need insurance. Like public liability on top of what we already have, like some extra stuff for the podcast in case people get shit-faced, do something stupid.
Oh my God, don't. Nobody do anything stupid, please.
Okay, you're allowed to have a drink, but you have to sit very still. You're not allowed to operate heavy machinery, and you're not allowed to hold anything sharp. You're not allowed to fall over. In fact, just sit still.
Screw top wine only, no cork.
Yep, no corks. Or what else can they not do?
Text your ex. Don't text your rapist.
No, don't do that. Well, no, that depends. If you sent, like,
you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
but you know what they're like though. Oh, she sent me this text saying I'm a piece of shit, and they go to the police, and the police end up knocking on your door. Did you send him this text?
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, he raped me. Right, well, we can't prove that, can we? But you did. You told him that he's a piece of shit. Yeah, he is a piece of shit. Can you take that back, please?
No. Right, okay.
And that, in a nutshell, is the criminal justice system.
That's the best summing up of women's experiences in the criminal justice system I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. That happened to me, though, years ago. This goes, like, right into our podcast, basically. It's like, that's exactly what happened to me, where the guy that had raped and abused me that I'd run away from, he sent me, like, 40-odd death threats in a day, and I ignored all of them. I kept thinking, I'm not fucking biting, I'm not rising to this. And I was ringing the police, right? Anyway, they got more and more violent, more and more disgusting. And then I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was enough for me to bite back. And I sent him one message back saying, I hope you fucking die. That's all it said. I didn't say, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to help you die in any way. I just said, I hope you fucking die. Because it had been going on for years. I'd already left, I'd got away, and he was still able to do that. And I didn't think anything of it. I just sent him a message back being like, I hope you fucking die. Because, like, I'd had enough of the harassment, even though he'd been arrested. He was on bail while he was sending those messages. And probably less than 2-3 hours later, I had a knock at the door. And it was two coppers. And I remember looking at them thinking, why are they here? And they asked me who I was, and I said my name. And they're like, can we come in? And I was like, yeah. And then you think everything's going through your head. You're thinking, oh my God, has a family member died? Has somebody been run over in a fucking, run over in something or whatever? You're like, all the worst things go through your head. And it wasn't, they'd come to have a go at me because I'd sent him a text message saying, I hope you fucking die. And I said to them, that man has been sending me death threats for months and you've done nothing. And then they turned up at my house being like, you can't send messages like that. It's a threatening nature. I was like, what? In comparison to actual death threats that detail how he's going to kill me and what he's going to do to my body. But you sound with them, apparently that's not enough evidence to hit the threshold for prosecution. But me sending one text message back telling him, I hope you fucking die, which I do. And they stood in my kitchen and said, like, we can have you done for harassment. I goes, go on then, arrest me.
Yeah, because they can't.
No, of course they fucking can't. But then they're going to stand there and fucking bully me in my own house, telling me that I can't send that message back to my mum.
But most people don't have that knowledge that you, for some reason, had when you were like, what, 20?
Because I was working in the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
When that happened. And it's like these guys just stood in front of me, bullshitting me about the law, being like, you can't do that. We can have you done for harassment. I was like, no, you can't, because the law on harassment says 2 or more malicious or harmful communications that are targeted harassment. I was like, I've sent one message back to a man that sent me 40, 50 odd death threats. you can't get me for nothing. And then I was arguing with him in the kitchen, and then he said to me, right, we'll get you done for some fucking bullshit about basically being rude to a police officer. I was like, fuck off out my house. I was so angry.
But I can guarantee if you'd have reported those messages to the police, they'd be like, oh, it's a civil matter.
I did report them to the police.
And what did they say?
Well, they took my phone for about 2.5 years, to the point where it was obsolete when I got it back. When I got it back, I didn't even recognise it. It was like the equivalent of giving a kid now a Walkman.
Yeah.
being like, here, what do you think that is? Kids going, what the fuck's this? It's got some,
what's this shiny disc inside of it?
You're talking about a CD Walkman, aren't you? I'm talking about a tape.
Oh, a tape Walkman. I couldn't afford any of those.
I couldn't either.
Oh.
I knew what one was, though. My nana gave me this really, really old yellow and grey Walkman. And it had tape, and it had tapes in it. It was just it had a little clip tapes that went on my waistband.
Yeah, I wanted one of those so badly.
Oh, I loved it. It was knackered by the time I got it, but I absolutely loved it. I used to listen to Now 93 on it and Now 92 on it, and I used to absolutely love it. It had Snow Informer on one of them. I think that was Now 95 or Now 96 or something. Fucking honestly. Anyway, I digress ever so slightly. So yeah, we wanted to talk about the criminal justice system because it's just a fucking mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, do you trust it?
No.
Like, at all?
I'd like to think that I trust it, but realistically I don't, do I? Because if I did, I would have reported every crime I've been a victim of. But I haven't. And the reason that I haven't is because I'm thinking, well, nothing's going to get done about it.
Yeah.
And whether that's, as a result of police cuts or just, other things that women go through when they report being victims of serious crime, there's a reason that I've probably only ever reported 2 or 3 times to the police, and nothing's ever been done anyway.
No. It's a good point you make there, because I think there are some people, politicians, professionals, police, people in police leadership, that would say, oh, it's the cuts, it's the austerity. And to an extent, I accept that cuts and austerity have had a massive impact on the criminal justice system. But what you cannot blame fucking cuts and austerity, you can't blame the fucking culture and the misogyny and the racism, right? Bullshit. I'm not accepting it. That the reason that, I don't know, for example, police officers talk to women like they're fucking nuts and like they're making it up and that they just have it in for men and they're lying about their ex, that's not a fucking austerity issue. That is an ethos issue. That's a culture issue. That they believe that women are making it up, or that they believe women exaggerate, or that they put in malicious complaints. Fuck off. That's nothing to do with cuts. And the other thing is, right, I don't accept people going, oh, well, you can, if they had better training, they wouldn't think that.
But also, the issue is that even if you come across a good one, they know what's going to happen in the system.
Yeah, they do.
I remember whilst the case was ongoing, me and my friend went and reported that some of the people involved in this case that we'd reported kept just following us around, or purposely going to places they knew they would, we would be, and just staring at us. And the police officer was like, she was a woman, and she was brilliant, because we went and reported this bit to her as part of the
the larger case.
Yeah. And she was just got a head in her hands, thinking, she said, I know exactly what they're doing, but it wouldn't stand up.
Yeah, that they go into places and looking at us.
Yeah,
even though they know it's witness intimidation.
Yeah, they were trying to intimidate us before the trial.
Yeah,
for a rape case.
Yeah,
and this police officer, she knew exactly. She wrote it all down, but I could just tell she'd gone through this so many times, because she was just like, oh, I know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah,
but she basically said it won't stand up in court.
Fuck all stands up in court.
But especially something like that. Because their argument would always be like, well, where's the proof that we were staring at you?
Oh, no.
Or like,
yeah.
well, so what if we were staring at you?
Yeah, it's not a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bullshit. I wrote an article on this and got myself in right fucking hot water over it, but like I don't trust it anymore, and I've worked in it. So for those of you that don't know, I managed a criminal justice system services for several years. I worked in courts, and then I went into managing vulnerable intimidated witness programs and Crown courts and magistrates courts in the Midlands, and I had 2 Crown courts and 5 magistrates courts at one point, like that I managed all of them. And honestly, that exposure every single day to those trials and the way those victims and witnesses were treated, that more than my own personal experiences of going through the criminal justice system as a victim when I was younger, and again when I was older a few times, it's working in it for the last 10 years that's made me realise that it's not like, you know, when people say things like, oh yeah, well, there are some issues with it, but on the whole it's, you know, it's pretty good. I'm like, no, on the whole it's shit, and sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel about it. I don't trust it. And then I went through a phase where I thought, maybe it's just certain crimes.
Yeah.
You know, like rape or domestic violence or trafficking or CSE, like child sexual abuse and stuff, right? But then there's other crimes, like, and other things I've reported.
Yeah, but you're a woman.
Oh, yeah. That old... What's it called? A nut... drink. What's it called when you go, that old... What's it called? It's like a turn of phrase.
I don't know. That old...
Chestnut.
Oh.
That old
I've
chestnut.
not heard that.
You've not heard the phrase, that old chestnut?
No.
I was gonna say that old walnut. And then my brain
old Nutella.
Then my brain went, it's not walnut, you twat. And then it was like, it's nutshell.
That
like,
slice of vodka.
That old nutshell. I was thinking, it's not nutshell. Brain's going through all these different little phrases going, nope.
I've not heard that before.
What, that old chestnut?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It basically means like that old sort of like issue that's come back up again. It's that like that old narrative. That
if
old
someone
chestnut.
said it, it would just blend in though, and I would understand.
Yeah, except I've really laboured the point. So
you have laboured it. Yeah, you really have. I think for me, what made me extremely distrustful of it is when I came out and spoke just publicly and freely about how shit the criminal justice system was for me and my friend, who'd got like so much evidence of rape, is the amount of women and girls who contacted me privately to saying that their stories are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Or even worse, actually.
What, of going through the criminal justice process?
Yeah.
It is. It's a common story. And when you've, you know, whether you are a woman just in the community, or whether you're a professional, whether you're a volunteer, you know, whether you've been through it yourself, everybody knows a woman that's been through this process that's like, fuck that, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of like mothers and fathers reaching out to me saying like, I need your help. Like, even now, I mean, I spoke about it publicly probably 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still have like, tends to be more parents now who say, look, can you help me? My daughter's has reported this and is going through the criminal justice system. And they're always saying like, oh, and it's always the same. It's like, oh, they're being intimidated by the rapist or the man who sexually assaulted her and his friends.
Yeah.
It's always the same. And I don't know anyone who's got justice for their rape.
See, so obviously because of the work I did, I know loads of people that, I'm saying this in like quotation marks, got justice.
Yeah.
But it's not true justice, and that's one of my issues with it, right? Is that I fucking work with so many families and individuals who were trafficked or raped or abused or fucking set on fire, fucking all nearly killed, all these other things, right? And then obviously every now and then you get a guilty verdict. And then the thing that always got me about that when I was working in it was that the professionals would walk away from that case and go, isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
Because we got a guilty verdict, and oh, what a great outcome for today, and they got 6 years, isn't that great? And all the professionals will be like shaking hands and being like, oh, it's a great outcome, well done, mate, yeah, you worked dead hard on that case. And then the family walks out fucking
traumatised.
Oh my God, looks like they've been hit by a truck.
Well, it's because
they've not slept for weeks.
Yeah.
They look like shit. They're knackered. They're traumatised. You can see in their faces that they're like triggered as fuck. That like the whole thing has been horrific for them. And you know what? Whatever sentence you give those perpetrators, it was never enough. And like the families I worked with then, and I would do the like post-trial support as well. Once they'd got over the shock of it, they'd be like, 6 years, is that it? Like, they'll probably be out in 3. And you sort of then have to like help them with that realisation that everyone else thought that was a great outcome, but the family's like, well, that's not gonna undo everything he's done, is it?
I think we sort of tell ourselves that getting justice makes you feel better.
Yeah, and then it doesn't, and it shocks people.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. That's what I saw over and over again. And it was when I started to realise that the system's so flawed. It's like, what's the word? It's like this massive, almost like a myth, like a fable that you're fed your whole life, that if you go to the police and report it and then they arrest the bad person and the bad person goes to prison, that justice is restored in the world, and then you'll feel like something really important has been done. But it doesn't happen like that.
Well, people are spending like sometimes 2 years or more channeling all of their anger and just complete upset into getting justice.
Yeah.
And then it happens, it doesn't happen. But I think the outcome for the victims is always the same. And then I read an account of something a woman had written. I think it might have been a rape case in Ireland where it might have been the one where they held up the knickers she was wearing, and she said the trial was like being raped all over again.
Yeah.
That's not getting justice. Whether that person went to prison or not, or whatever, feeling like you've been raped all over again is not getting justice.
No, it's not. No, I know. It reminds me very much of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I oversaw and managed so many cases where I watched victims and witnesses get fucking interrogated in the courtroom and get humiliated. They would ridicule them.
Yeah.
But
I was told that I was a really bad friend, and then it was my fault for my friend getting raped because I was a bad friend and I wasn't with her all the time.
That's so fucking disgusting.
I know.
It's so disgusting and like the lengths these defence solicitors are allowed to go to, and that they're willing morally to go to.
Yeah.
I used to, right, the other thing is that people probably don't know a lot about, and like those of you listening that might work in the criminal justice system will know what I'm about to say is fucking true. Fucking defence solicitors are mates with the prosecutors, fucking mates with the judges, they fucking all know each other.
Yeah.
They're all having a fucking chat afterwards, or having a chat beforehand, and then they go in there, do their job, go back out, have fucking lunch together, right? Bullshit that they don't know each other and that they're on, like, you know, I worked in a court where the defence and the prosecutor used to fucking decide the outcome before they even walk through the fucking door, and people don't know that shit's going on, right?
And like people think the victims don't see that, but they do.
Yeah.
Because when you're waiting in court, like if you're a victim and you've got like the screen up or whatever, you are in there before the court fills up.
Yeah.
So you see the defence solicitors and the defence barristers all chatting together, and it puts you into a false sense of security.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because then they attack you after they've just been sound with your prosecutor for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But, like, people, I don't want people listening thinking, oh, it's some sort of conspiracy theory. It's not. It's that these people see each other every fucking day.
Yeah, they work
in the same fucking court,
and
they see each other frequently, and they're obviously, you know...
They're numb to it.
Yeah, and it's their job, right? But, like, it always reminds me of this case that I had, and this is how far the defence was willing to go, of a 16-year-old girl who was very severely beaten up and sexually attacked. And the police had taken injuries from her. She'd rang 999. She had very solid evidence. Perpetrator was a repeat offender, was much older than her, and it looked like a cut and dry case in terms of the fact that, you know, perp had previous similar offence. Victim was a 16-year-old girl. You know, didn't.
Oops.
What did you just do?
I just kicked something over. Oh, it was Castro's puppy spray. Her perfume.
Perfume. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Right.
Sorry.
So this case, right? Anyway, I remember overseeing it. I remember being in the courtroom at the time, and then the defence started like cross-examining the girl, and was saying things like, "Have you ever had any mental health issues?" And she was like, no, why? And they were like, "Oh, are you sure about that?" And she was like, yeah. And then they were like, were you not referred into CAMS when you were like 9? And
it could be like something like their parents splitting up.
I was like looking at him thinking, oh no, you didn't, because she's 16 years old and she got beat up by a fucking 20-odd-year-old guy who was abusing her, and you're going to bring up the fact that CAMS were involved when she was 9 years old, right? And then he says, it says on your records, we obtained your, like, you know, health records, and it says that you self-harmed, and that's why you were referred into CAMS. And she was like, well, yeah, I was a kid and I had an eating disorder and all this other stuff. And he then used that to imply that the injuries to her head were self-inflicted, and that she hadn't been headbutted like 11 times in the face, that she'd headbutted a wall as a form of self-harm, and then blamed it on this man for like revenge. God. And she just stood there in the court and was like, what? And you could see she was totally confused. It wasn't like, she was just thinking, how have you come to that conclusion? Like, she was totally baffled by this defence solicitor. And he was like twisting everything she said and making her look like she had no idea what was going on. Anyway, my job was to support her, but you're not allowed to make eye contact with them or like talk to them or mouth anything at them, because it's contempt. So like you sort of like got your head down thinking, oh shit, like this is gonna go bad. And she was already so stressed, so angry, so traumatized, and I was just like, I'm watching him, and he was like pushing her and pushing her and pushing her to sort of make her crack. Yeah. And then he started saying to her things like, none of this ever happened, did it? Mm-hmm. You're just making this up, aren't you? Mm-hmm. You're here for the attention. You just like the drama, don't you? And I was just thinking, oh my god, she's going to fucking crack in a minute. Because I'd known. And
they're technically allowed to do that.
I know. And they're supposed to fucking stop them from badgering them. That's the point of the magistrates or the judges, is supposed to, you know, preside over and be like, look, mate, that's fucking inappropriate. She's 16 years old. Stop it. Anyway, nobody stopped it. And it carried on. And then he was saying things like, none of this happened, did it? And all this sort of stuff. And that's it. She fucking cracked. And she turned around and she said to him, sorry, were you fucking there? And he was like, excuse me. And she went and she's screaming at him across the court going, were you fucking there? Because I fucking don't remember you being there. And she was like, did you witness this happening? No. She was like, I got beat up by him, and like, you weren't fucking there, were you? And now you're going to stand here and tell me I'm fucking lying. She fucking picked her bag up and fucked off out of the court.
I don't blame her, because it wouldn't have gone well for her. Okay, no word of a lie. In my case, I was explaining that me and my friend were distressed, and we called our friend for help, and he argued with me the definition of distressed, because I wrote the word distressed in my statement, and he said that distressed meant angry and aggressive.
No, it doesn't.
Right, okay, and I was like 17 years old at this point, and I was like, what? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she was distressed. Like, we were both like upset and panicking and just, you know. And he was like, well, I'm not going to argue with you about what distressed means, and, you know, it means it was angry and agitated, and you were being all like that. And by this point, like, I was a 17-year-old girl, and the jury were just 12 random members of the public. Who are they going to believe? And it's not like I could get a dictionary out and be it's like this.
Yeah, it's not like you can fucking turn around and go, nah, mate, fucking Oxford Dictionary says that.
And he just made me look like a prick. I mean, I held my own. I think I was up there for like 6 hours.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
Yeah, I know. But it just goes to show we had solid evidence, and
that's how you know, though, because they nitpick at shit.
Yeah, like...
Because if you didn't have solid evidence, they'd be attacking your evidence, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they start nitpicking over words in the statement,
yeah.
that I always used to think, when they start attacking character, you know, like start attacking you as a person,
yeah.
and then they start attacking linguistic and semantic issues.
And then lying about it.
Yeah, I always used to think, you've got nothing.
Yeah, well, so the judge had to clear the court probably... In the whole trial, there was 3 of us that were classed as witnesses or victims, and he had to clear the court about 6 times altogether because of this one defence. There was 2 defence barristers. There was a man and a woman. They were both fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But the man was obviously a lot worse, and he kept like challenging things. Obviously, they're only allowed to challenge evidence, aren't they?
They're supposed to.
Yeah. And he kept clearing the court and saying and having to have words with him, but once he's already challenged something that isn't even there, you can't say to the jury, "Oh, can you just discount all that?" Because it's already in the heads.
Okay, I completely agree with this. Right, I have a real issue with this. So I used to see that happen in my courts all the time, where it was like, you know, can you basically discount that line of questioning or that particular sort of argument or whatever. And I used to think, right, how do you want them to do that? They haven't got one of them fucking flashy things from Men in Black, have they? They're not going to fucking wipe their fucking memory for the last 2 hours of questioning that you failed to fucking stop, right? So then you've got a jury that's just taken in a load of bullshit of discrediting that victim or witness, and then they go discredit that, fucking disregard that, right? And you're like, right, how are they going to do that? They've just listened to it for ages. I don't believe that that's possible for a start. I don't believe the human mind works like that. I don't think you can just disregard information because some bloke told you to disregard it.
Yeah.
And then that brings us on to like this discussion around juries.
Well, it's like, to bring us on to that, it's holding them to such a high standard when these people are just ordinary people. You can't say to an ordinary person who's got no training, no history in the criminal justice system to just be like, oh, discount that. Well, they're humans, for one.
Yeah, I know. But also, what worries me, right, and there's loads of like really controversial opinions around this, especially in the criminal justice system, right? What about the fact that you've got 12 fucking randomers on that jury, right, and you could have fucking 8 racists, or you could have like 6 misogynists, or you could have fucking 9 homophobes, or fucking people that are like Islamophobes or something like that, right? How are you fucking managing whether these people are biased or not, right? And, you know, sometimes you get this on like rape cases where the jury themselves completely believe rape myths, they believe fucking misogynistic myths about women and girls, they believe that, for example, women and girls are likely to pretend that they've been raped for attention, even though that's bullshit and there's no evidence for it. But, like, what are we doing? Even in, like, we know, for example, that you are much more likely to be convicted by a jury if you're black. Yeah. And we fucking know why. Because of institutional racism, and because the jury themselves is likely to also be racist if they're majority white. Yeah. Right? So, what are we doing? You know, why do we believe that the jury is like, what's the word? The most representative, fairest, most just way of deciding. Fuck that. I've seen juries deliver disgusting verdicts because they just don't believe the victim or they've got an issue with them. Yeah.
Well, I watched so one of the barristers, he was discussing and he was like asking me questions, and then he told me that I had to answer while looking at the jury. And like, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like 17. So I felt like I had to, and I didn't want to look at them. But I think just from me answering his questions, I could see at least 3 members of the jury just bawling their eyes out. But we still couldn't get a guilty verdict.
But then that's the other thing, is that you have to have a unanimous decision.
Exactly, unanimous.
Yeah. So then, say for example, you've got 12 of them, right? Say fucking 4 of them are the only 4 that can see fucking sense. Right, but you've got 8 of them going, nah, fuck it, she's lying. Well,
8 of them could just be like, oh, well, what if it was a misunderstanding?
Yeah, I know,
or whatever. And the thing is, one of them, could think, well, what if it's just a misunderstanding and they could convince everybody else? Or, like, just another person.
Yeah, no,
and if it's not unanimous, What are they going to do?
Well, that's the thing, is that sometimes you'll have something that won't go unanimous. It drags on for fucking days or weeks. Or sometimes they'll be advised that if they can't reach a unanimous guilty, they have to go not guilty.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
So you got maybe 1 or 2 people that refuse to go guilty with you, but the rest of them, you know, believe that they're guilty, but you can't go unanimous.
Well, it could be that even though, it could be like 11 of them are like, yeah, I think it's guilty, and one of them's like, oh, I'm not sure if it's beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I know.
And then that's it.
I know. It's just fucking... this is what I mean, like, I got attacked a couple of years ago, and I just didn't even bother reporting it. I knew my fate.
Yeah.
I've worked in this system. I know it inside and out. And I had that used against me by professionals in my field that were like, oh, you know, she got sexually assaulted and she didn't even report anybody, and like somehow that's my fucking fault. But that was my choice to do so. And actually, in my defence, even though I shouldn't have to defend myself at all, when I fought that man off after he'd attacked me, which was a miracle in itself. I want to make that very clear. The majority of women do not fight off a sexual attacker. And I don't know why I fought off that man, because that's not something I've managed to do before. But for whatever reason, I had a very strong fight instinct that kicked in, and I fucking launched this guy after he... Don't get me wrong, he still managed to assault me and attack me, but I did manage to fight him off, and I hurt myself and really hurt my back of my head and my arms and my hands and all sorts fighting him off. But... the first thing I did was I ran for help. Yeah. And then the people that I spoke to who were in charge basically laughed in my face and was like, prove it. Like, I didn't see nothing happen. I was like, are you joking? Yeah. And it was at that point that I just thought, do you know what? I'm not getting into this with the police. Yeah. Because what's going to happen, right? They're going to go out and take witness statements. They're going to talk to those people who I first ran to. And then what are they going to go, oh, didn't see nothing, mate. She don't know, she's fucking lying. Yeah. And one of those men said to me, who I ran to for help, said that the man who attacked me, basically, that it was his birthday and that he was just having a laugh and that he was entitled to have a laugh because it was his birthday, and that I would ruin his birthday by reporting it to the police. It's
always like, oh, it ruins a man's life. Like, that's absolute bullshit.
I know, it fucking doesn't. You seen how many celebrities...
I know, yeah, like...
got just, like Chris Brown...
Yeah.
What the fuck? Chris Brown has a tattoo on his fucking neck of the injuries that he fucking caused to Rihanna's face, and he has a fucking tattoo of it on his neck. No one gives a shit.
People, yeah, he's literally on the radio, on the TV all the time.
Yeah, no one cancelled that.
But J.K. Rowling says that we need single-sex spaces, and look what's happening to her.
Honestly,
she's getting sent like sexual abuse pictures.
I know. Where was the blood on Chris Brown's hands?
I know, yeah.
It's some bullshit. Like, the men, they do claim, don't they, that if you, like, report a guy, you're going to, like, ruin his life. Someone said that to me about the guy that was raping me when I was a kid, and they were like, if you go and do this, you're going to ruin this man's life, and it'll be your fault. And I was like, I was, like, the same age as you. I was, like, 17 years old, and I was like, what? Like, and then I got told I was making a mountain out of a molehill, and I was just like, what? And... you're right. If you think about all these guys and the fucking uproar of people going, look at all these false rape allegations. What fucking false rape allegations?
I can tell you now.
They make up 0.2% of allegations in the UK.
But they won't fucking make it to court.
They fucking don't make it to court. That's the thing.
No.
And then the other thing, right, is that people go on and on about how horrendous false rape allegations are, right? No one gives a shit that the majority of false crime allegations are actually robbery, burglary and fraud, right? They reckon, so I read this report a couple of years ago that reckons that 48% of robbery and burglary reports are fraud because people try to claim on their insurance. Yeah. So they use the crime numbers to claim on their insurance.
Yeah.
There's fucking no uproar about that shit. No one gives a fuck about the criminal justice system when it's that.
Yeah. No, of course they don't.
Do you know what I mean? It's
but like honestly... and a lot of women say the same and girls say the same. Sometimes going to court can be worse than being raped.
Oh yeah,
because you are on that stand sometimes for like days,
having like your whole history dragged up.
Exactly, and like it's awful.
That's why I wrote that blog. I can't think, maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, saying this is why I do not support giving your phones to the police.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you report a crime now, DV or sexual violence, they're entitled to basically say to you, we want your phone, and if you don't give it to us, we won't go forward with the report because we want access to your phone to check everything. I would literally be like, ha ha ha, no. Because, right, there are personal fucking conversations on there with people that they do not have the right to access that data to. Photos of your friends, photos of your kids, photos of you. Could be fucking confidential information with you and your employer. What about you and your doctor? The fucking police do not have... They're not entitled to that fucking data.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, right. So this one time, like, I just remembered this. I gave them my phone because I didn't think there was anything, like, wrong with it. And the person who attacked, well, the two guys who attacked me and my friend, like, I was friends with them. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Because we were going around to see them. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll see you in a sec. Put a kiss on the text.
Yeah.
And the defence barrister was like, read out the text. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, we will see you in a bit. Kiss. And it was like, for fuck's sake, I put more kisses to my mum.
Yeah, but that's not the point, is it? The point is, you could have literally sent them a message going, I fucking really fancy you and I can't wait to shag you. And if they still fucking sexually assault you,
yeah, exactly.
The message is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And that's the thing, isn't it? Is that, like, so they've used something against you that's out of context and is actually, technically, according to the Sexual Offences Act, it's irrelevant because consent is in the moment, it's informed.
Yeah, and it can be withdrawn at any point.
And it can be withdrawn at any point, exactly. Yeah. So you could literally fucking meet some stranger and be like...
You could sign a consent form and then withdraw it during sex.
This is why I hate those fucking apps. Have you seen these consent apps that fucking dickheads have dreamt up?
No.
Yeah, like these consent apps that fucking men dreamt up to be like, oh, you can't be done for sexual assault if you have to like put your fingerprint in, or you both have to sign before you shag each other to claim that you got consent.
Yeah, but what if you're having sex and then it doesn't feel good?
Yeah,
what if they're shit in bed? Simple as, what if they're shit in bed and you're not enjoying it? You're like, do you know what, mate? I'm sorry, but what you're doing doesn't feel good.
Or what if they start hurting you? Or doing something that you didn't
but that's
say
really,
was okay.
That's like quite
and you
serious.
fucking signed some bullshit fucking form.
Yeah, like it's all serious, but that's quite serious in the sense that they know they're hurting you. Whereas if somebody is just shit in bed, like absolutely shit, and maybe they've got like a skinny penis or something, and they're having sex with you, and you're like, mate, like I know we said that we were going to do this and that, you know, we were going to have fun. But what you're doing to me does not feel good.
What, and they're like, well, you already consented.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, it could just not feel good, and you're like, no, mate, I don't want to do it. You feel like you shit in bed. I want to stop, and they're like, no, you're not stopping.
Yeah, because you've already fucking said that you're going to continue.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on as the last question. What do you think the sentence should be for rapists? Because at the moment...
a big question, why don't you?
Yeah, because at the moment... it's in the UK, it can be life, which is the biggest sentence we serve in the UK, or it can be cautions or community service. Should they be convicted? I think about this all the time, yeah. And I don't. One thing I want to make clear is that I don't believe in an eye for an eye. I genuinely don't. Loads of people do, but I don't, because I just can't understand the like sort of belief system around an eye for an eye. However, I do think that if they're going to commit rape or sexual assault or domestic violence, honestly, I think they should just get locked up for the rest of their life and kept away from the public. What's that thing that we do to a dog when a dog bites a human? I'm sorry.
No, you're not. That's such a lie.
Yeah, it is a lie.
That is interesting though. Me and you have talked about this when we've had a drink before. It's like a dog can.
Please bear in mind, everyone, we have has a very large glass of Malbec.
A grass of.
I would like a cutting of your finest grass of Malbec.
No, like they do though. People like your dog shows a bit of fucking aggression and they're like, kill it. Your dog gets angry at you because you're a wanker. He's like, kill it. Just fucking kill it. You may as well just kill it now.
A man is a serial rapist. Oh, well.
I know, yeah.
He's a good swimmer.
He's got a good career ahead of him.
He's come from a nice family. Just let him do a bit of community service.
He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean to rape her. She didn't say no loud enough.
Maybe we should just send them all to them shelters that apparently look after the dogs, and then for some reason the dogs all disappear.
Oh my God. Julie Bindle, what is it you say about men?
We better go.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you've, I'm not going to say enjoyed it, but